The irony is that we were going to go to Vegas and like gamble a little bit, go to dinner, have some drinks, and then it just turned into just gambling.
All gambling. Men have taste buds on their nutsack.
I don't know why they call them condiments. They don't taste like either. All right, guys, welcome back. This is episode 15 of the Good Enough Podcast. This is a special edition where we've turned the quarantine couch into the casting couch.
And we are both going to audition and take one cock for dudefinder.com.
I'm out, but for the sponsor, I'll
chicken.
support you. I also don't eat meat, so you're alone on this one.
Oh, well, that's good.
But
that's exactly what I wanted. One-on-one action.
Every episode of this podcast is a special edition because we're really, really goddamn good.
Absolutely.
Speaking of good shit, man, it is hot as shit outside, which is good, but it's 9:45 on a Tuesday night, and I'm still sweating.
Yeah, it has been quite the turn from what was a pretty cold weather month to now blazing hot.
Yeah, and we're total pussies because it's really only like 85. But 85 feels like 100 right now, so I'm just
And when you're standing out in the beating sun or riding in the sun like we did last weekend, you get burnt pretty quick, as my arms know.
Hey, you got crispy chicken arms.
Well, you can't really tell in the video, but my arms are fried.
Toasty, for sure. And we weren't even out that long, all things considered.
Yeah, but we were out long enough.
Yeah.
For shit to suck.
It was fun, though. I feel like that's the most random, like, just running errands and stuff, but it was, obviously there's nobody on the road right now, and the weather's great, so first good little piece of riding we got in, and first big vehicle failure of the year. So that was cool. I'm going to intro my little This Shit Sucks early today. Breaking down sucks. We built my bike a few years ago from a stock Harley, and we fried the battery this weekend, and by we, I mean completely me. And it was hot outside, as we mentioned, and it's really hot on nice asphalt on the side of the road at like 1 in the afternoon, which is where we spent, luckily, only half an hour.
Right next to a good old poopy diaper.
Yes, which if you saw, a handful you saw on our Instagram page at Good Enough Pod, we went live for a little bit, kind of a live update of us just stranded. Which is not exactly fun, but we got off easy this time. A few years ago, we got stranded on the side of I-5, which for anyone who's not familiar is a major interstate that runs through California. In late July, and it was 105 plus freeway heat for multiple hours with no water. So everything seems pretty easy compared to that, but it was still a rude reminder that it still sucks no matter what.
Yes, sirree.
Otherwise, all is well. I'm enjoying soaking up some sun.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to roll my This Shit Sucks into somewhat an article that I saw, which is bad nicknames for your lover. And the article that went with that. Yeah, basically. Said that a chick was going to break up with her boyfriend because of what he called her during sex. And I did not write it down. Let me check. Let me check on exactly what it said because I forgot.
That's a brutal one.
But I know the general thing. Oh, he called her a dirty little tomato.
A dirty little tomato.
Which, in the moment, that's not what I would want to be called.
In any moment, that's not what I want to be called.
Yeah, I don't see that as a compliment whatsoever or any bit sexualized.
No. A dirty little half fruit.
Who knows? But
that's horrible. And yeah, if there wasn't an inside joke, I'm out for sure.
Yeah, I don't know any other correlation to tomatoes other than they're red. Hope to God she was not on her period.
Okay.
And if she was, hopefully she's not the one that we're casting with today on this casting couch. On that note, if you guys are listening on any audio platform, check out the video on YouTube.
For sure. We have a special set just for today.
Fully on the casting couch today.
Yeah, definitely. But yeah, man, all is well though. Bike, we fixed the bike same day though, so you know what? We kind of know what we're doing. Rode it home a few hours later, but I also had to put on, part 2. The shit sucks. I had to put my car in the shop the day after. Not that big of a deal, but it's just kind of one of those things, which is fitting for this casting episode, is it just feels like you're always about to get boned. I have a shop I do
feel that way.
Yeah. I have a shop I trust, and I've taken my stuff to. It's like not necessarily convenient at all, but I know what they do is going to be right, but it's like cars and God, what's another example? Something you just always feel like you're getting wrecked, no matter what.
Women?
Yeah.
Just kidding.
Yeah, you think you know what you're going to get, and then it never quite goes according to plan. But, yeah, that was kind of a financially rough couple days, but it's all good. So this shit sucks. It's pretty light. All my stuff's okay. But, for the lack of jobs going on, you never want to spend that much money.
Yeah.
But, it's all good. We got eyes set on future plans.
Yes, sir.
I kind of want to, I say want, nobody wants to work, but I was kind of thinking about, as corny as this, maybe like some, because we were talking about freelance work the other day.
Yeah.
How to make a kind of a buck on the side. I was kind of thinking about just like writing some articles about stuff that we do, which is isn't necessarily like normal by certain standards. And then trying to like tastefully submit those things to mediums that wouldn't expect it.
You absolutely could. So on that note,
yeah,
basically, Tyler just reminded me of writing and his abilities to write anything. And in high school, I used to pay Tyler to write my English homework and stuff. So
yeah, that happened. And then you got better grades than me on the same assignments, which
it was
in retrospect
freaking awesome.
Is pretty garbage, but yeah, I don't know. I don't know. It's a trip, man. It's just kind of one of those things where sometimes I forget that that's an option. People actually do that for a living.
Yeah, it's pretty wild.
And then you get to pick about what you talk about.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, again, I don't know if anyone cares. Like, people listen to this anyways, which we thank you. But yeah, that's kind of a life update. I might kind of give that a shot. But then you got to, like, really put some effort forth. But, dude, if it's just one of those things. You just kind of build your own following on that, and then people read it, and then people care a little bit. Which is cool, because we have some friends doing some really cool stuff. We get to document some really cool trips. I mean, I got sent, from a good friend, kind of a writing thing that kind of spurred the thought a couple days ago. It was like a coffee blog, and I used to work in a coffee shop, and I thought I would have something to say, but I don't. Because I worked at kind of like this chain deal. But I thought straight to our buddy Shay at Highside Coffee.
Which, I got some of that coffee.
Yeah, it's killer.
So easy to make.
Yeah.
Easy to travel with.
Yep.
And bitchin' coffee.
It's super, super
Tastes good and does the job. Yeah, so thank you, Shay.
Absolutely. Thanks, Shay. Thanks for the spares, too. I've kind of shared them out with some few friends, which has been awesome. For anyone that doesn't know, Highside Coffee does really high-end coffees, and they're in big tea bags. So instead of needing a grinder and doing all this like pour-over process or spending like a lot of money on these like bags of really expensive coffee, which is something I've done in the past and feel like you're wasting a bunch, you just get super nice coffee in a single-use, coffee tea bag, whatever you'd like to call it. It's super good, makes cold brew for those who enjoy it. It's rad. I was sweating it basically solely today. But something like that made me think, and they're all angles, motorcycle travel, and kind of ease of use, which is rad because I kind of got sent this magazine that does, like I said, obviously some coffee stuff that's always taking on like freelance writing things.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, that's a unique angle that we can explain on a real personal level because we travel on bikes, and we, instead of carrying like this super gnarly percolator and needing to pre-ground coffee, which takes a lot of room in our small little bags, it's really cool to kind of plug one of our buddies in there. So keep your eyes peeled on that. That'll be something I would like to work on. But yeah, a little rant, but thanks again to Shay for sending us all the goodies. That was it's always good to see the high side package in the box.
Yes, sir.
And did you see the subscription program too?
I did.
Leisure Club. You get deliveries every week. Week?
I think it's monthly, yeah.
Yeah, well, I know what I'm doing. It's good stuff.
Yeah. So, do you have anything before rolling into some articles here that you'd like to bring up?
I got some weird spastic notes from
Sure, throw them
out. Stuck at home. Update pro gaming isn't going that well, but we're getting better. Streaming's a lot of fun though. On the stay at home tip, we talked a couple weeks ago about stuff to watch on TV.
Okay.
Ryan offered up some really good suggestions, and I can finally chip in. I just finished Waco, which was done in 2018, but it's top 5 right now on Netflix. I don't know how I didn't hear about this. It's a one season kind of a series thing about kind of the Waco. I don't know how you would effectively or most accurately label it. It wasn't a mass suicide. It was kind of this whole whatever. It was this big 2-month-long standoff.
Okay.
Between a cult and the FBI and the ATF. That happened. That was a real thing. I will fact check myself here, but I think it was before we were born. Yeah, I don't know. It's super crazy. And that was really interesting. Yeah, it was 93, so that was right before we were born. Really, really well done. Super interesting. That's a good way to bury yourself on the couch for the day, as I did yesterday. Learn a little something and definitely get kind of a good story. So that was really good. I wanted to mention that one because we tried to... We're in quarantine. We're all still stuck with no foreseeable end, so might as well watch some good stuff. I think the last one is Delivery Cocktails is the coolest thing on earth. I was running errands, fixing the bike the other day. Went and got some food, and they were like, "Oh, bring out your car," and I ordered a cocktail. And the dude brought me my cocktail first and was like, "Well, if you drink it, you drink it." And so me and Big Mama Cheeks, shout out to Mama Cheeks, crushing a cocktail in a parked car with the power off while we're waiting for our food, and the dude took the cups for us. So that was rad. That's kind of those weird blip things that I wouldn't be surprised if... I don't think anyone would be surprised if it never was able to happen again. Kind of this fun little loopy thing during the...
weird gray area that's happening right now.
Yeah. So, ABC, which is, who controls all that stuff, is letting it happen for now, which is kind of funny, man. Everybody's drinking beers in parking lots, and it's a trip to see, but it's, I don't know, for lack of better things, it's just kind of those fun things you can tell your grandkids one day that you got to do for 30 seconds.
Yeah. Like having sex.
Yeah.
For 30 seconds.
Yep. That, hardly remember it, but I think it was disappointing for everybody involved. And, let's go to news. Everything else I have is real good for news. Yeah, you got one? You want to go first?
Yeah, sure. I'll start off on an easy note. So, I want to say it was last week. Wendy's did 1 day of free chicken nuggets.
Whoa.
And it was a free 4-pack of chicken nuggets.
Okay. And
one Oregon man drove to 11 different Wendy's for free nugs.
I don't know where 2 Wendy's are, I don't think.
Yeah, where we are, there isn't many Wendy's that I can think of either. I know of one.
Yeah.
And that is it. So for him to drive to 11 is pretty impressive. Let alone, I don't know how the hell he ate all of those.
Yeah.
Or if he bought them for the family.
Is he still alive?
Sources did not say.
It was a very short-lived story.
Yeah, so who knows?
Damn. That's brutal. Wow. Speaking of, not being able to eat, I think we're pretty close to that. So let's go ahead and run an ad real quick and make sure we can buy rice and beans for the week.
Yeah, good point.
All right. On that note, I thought an interesting news thing this week was, did you hear anything about the whole Kim Jong-un thing?
Yeah, he died.
And then he didn't die.
What?
Oh, yeah. So TMZ comes out with
this, came back to life?
Yeah. With this article on the 25th saying that Kim Jong-un reportedly died in his, I believe, late 30s of complications to a heart condition, which I believe is how his dad died, and that could be wrong. It's like his dad, his uncle, or whoever had power before him.
Okay.
Died young of a heart condition. So it was reported that he was in a quote-unquote vegetative state, which really piggybacks your joke from last week about not being able to eat his wheelchair or any vegetables wheelchair.
That was my joke, yeah.
But yes, it was like a Hong Kong-backed news channel said that he had died, which is pretty gnarly and would have caused some interesting world problems, but the government came out and said that he is very alive and was sick and just recovering in a nearby town. That's why he wasn't making public appearances or like seemed to be around.
Wow.
So yep, although it stirred up a bunch of stuff and some hilarious memes, and the internet really ran wild with that one, he apparently is alive to my knowledge. That's been the latest news. So that's kind of crazy, but
hey, makes sense. Can't trust the media at all times.
Yeah, you definitely got to fact check yourself, and maybe TMZ is not the brightest spot for that always, but hey, it's entertaining. It's made some funny pictures, and everything's okay.
Yeah, so speaking of fact checking and me not knowing if I want to believe an article, found an article that said one-eyed squirrel with Instagram account is returned to nature. Bro, okay. I don't know who the picks up a squirrel, let alone with one eye, and then is like, oh, man, you know what would be a great idea? I make a freaking Instagram account for it, and I become famous.
So,
if you guys know the one-eyed squirrel Instagram account, send it to us on Instagram or leave it in the comments on this YouTube video.
Man, I'm so confused. Who managed that account and why?
Because anyone who gets a following on Instagram can start making money, and they are a genius for now making money off of a squirrel that they stumbled upon.
That's
quite possibly ran over.
Yeah, that's
has now been returned back to their rightful home.
Yeah, that's a trip. A squirrel's not even that cute. I mean, some people might think it, but you probably suck. But like, it's a squirrel.
Not cute.
Like a little puppy, then sure, that's adorable.
Yeah,
but it's kind of just like a tree rodent.
Yeah.
Okay, I have probably the most chaotic.
Okay, hold on.
Chaotic article. We're diving just balls deep back into.
Let me throw a more general one out first, and then we'll jump into the gnarly one.
Yeah, it's a gnarly one for sure.
Okay, well, let me throw off two then.
Okay.
So,
big cliffhanger here.
Yeah. Let's see. $500,000 was bet on a rock, paper, scissors game that was written off by appeal court in Canada. So what happened was two guys bet on a frickin' best 2 out of 3 game of rock, paper, scissors. Right. $500,000. And the guy who lost was like, I'm not going to pay, and ended up like taking it to court and everything. And they dismissed the case. But
Jesus Christ.
Pretty insane. What kind of idiot would bet $500,000 on a rock, paper, scissors game?
Yeah, that's just like more money than sense. Also, I mean, there's certain gambling that's like calculated to a certain degree. Rock, paper, scissors is just chance.
Yeah.
Which like,
but then again, it's like roulette.
Yeah, so it's roulette. But that's 50-50. You're talking a 33% chance on that much money. Not 33, actually. It's more than that. But, like, what?
Let me tell you the kind of guy who would play that. This dude who won 2 $1 million lottos in one day with identical Powerball tickets.
What?
I don't know if he like purposely picked the numbers on both tickets the exact same or happened to get 2 printed with the exact same numbers.
Oh, I'm sure he picked them.
But he won $1 million on both of them. Yeah, so he won $2 million, same ticket. Props to that guy.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's so confusing. I mean,
why can't we do that?
I know. We've talked about this at length, and anybody who's talked to me might have had this conversation. I don't know. I'll drop that one. But I think the lotto is like a very, very interesting thing. I think there's like a lot of layers to that onion. Whether it be kind of like the psychology of it, literally everyone wants to talk about what they get, but like I don't think anyone thinks about how your life changes or whatever. But God, that dude won $2 million one. In the grand scheme of things is like not that much money once you get taxed again. He'll probably end up with $1 million.
Sure.
On a double jackpot. But that's like a small one, and that's still beyond life changing.
Absolutely.
I mean, God, can you imagine we're 24, 25?
I cannot imagine having that much money.
No.
Let alone, hopefully our soon-to-be friend David Dobrik and his large amount of money at our age. Who just recently released a video where he was giving out hundreds of thousands of dollars probably in cars, iPads, Xboxes, PlayStations, and whatnot.
Yeah.
Which would be ideal if we could get to that level.
Yeah, that'd be good.
So we're going to push for it.
We don't have any like super hot
women
assistants or women. Yeah, I don't know. We don't have the photo appeal for that one.
Oh, no, I'm not ready. Hold on. Give me 1 second. Sorry. Casting couch calls, you know?
Yeah. Apparently we're on a time limit.
Yeah.
Now, yeah, man. I don't have anything bad to say about the guy. That looks really entertaining. The guy's a workhorse, though, so.
Yeah.
If you want to do it, there's ways to do everything.
Yep. All right. Go ahead. Hit us with that article that you're talking about.
All right. We're going all the way.
Balls deep.
Yep. We're going southeast, baby. We're going back to Florida.
Okay. So back to where we all started.
I would say put on your seatbelts, but I'm pretty sure they don't have those there because nobody gives a shit. And I'm actually going to read this whole article through for the first time because there's no paraphrasing this. So, what in the Sam hell? Miami stripper arrested for squirting vaginal fluids at police officers in self-defense.
No.
A Florida lap dancer has been arrested in Miami after assaulting 5 police officers with her vagina and using it as a deadly weapon without intent to kill. Dude.
Oh.
5 officers.
Dude.
Straight beaver chain gun.
How did she just squirt gun 5 guys?
Well, what did I tell you? Brittany Simmons, 24, was at the Camel Toe Strip Club. Great
name.
Yeah. When an altercation began between Simmons and several clients at the club. Miami police were called to intervene and attempted to apprehend Simmons, who was highly intoxicated and acting erratically, according to the police report. 5 Miami Police Department officers attempted to place Simmons under arrest, but were momentarily indisposed when the lap dancer ejected vaginal fluids towards the officers, temporarily blinding 3 and injuring 2. Quote from the police officer: "She just spread her legs wide open and started squirting in the cops' faces, eyes, and mouths from a distance of about 12 to 15 feet. One eyewitness told reporters.
Okay.
Visibly amused by the whole affair, which I love that they left that in.
That is low-key impressive.
It's so good. Wait. Officer Miguel Aguirre of the police department told reporters that all 5 of the officers had since tested positive for chlamydia, gonorrhea, and herpes.
No. Oh.
Holy shit.
Wow.
Oh my god, dude, it just gets better. Simmons' attorney argued that his client acted in self-defense and used her vagina not as a deadly weapon, but in the quote-unquote appropriate boundaries of her working skills and abilities.
Dude.
According to current Florida laws, if convicted of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon against 5 police officers, she could face up to 1,036 years in jail.
Okay. Now that one does not make sense.
No.
And is also stupid.
Stupid because it wasn't a deadly weapon. But in a similar 2013 court case, a Miami citizen, again, Florida, was convicted of armed robbery after threatening a convenience store clerk with his erect and AIDS-infected penis and was sentenced to 237 years in jail.
Guys, don't go to Florida.
Yeah, Florida's we just need to just take a paring knife, just kind of cut it off and send it back into the ocean. And then just take Australia and just plug it in its place because I feel like Australia is pretty dope.
Yeah. So is Miami like the horniest place on earth then?
I think so, yeah. It's
or in the U.S.?
Genitalia is weapons. Are weapons. I know grammar.
Yeah. And I think the majority of people have seen it being used as a weapon.
Yeah, that's also the craziest party trick in the history of Earth.
What? Squirting?
15 feet. Yeah, she's a sniper.
That's wild.
Yeah, that.
I don't know how she mustered that up. Well, that was a terrible image.
Was
how she managed
that one out.
I don't know how she managed to squirt on 5 officers in the heat of the moment.
Yeah.
I feel like it takes a little bit of skill, a little muscle control.
She was kind of a sprinkler.
Yeah. Well,
that's rough.
That's her new nickname.
Yep. Now, I was talking about to-go drinks seems kind of up.
Who knows? Maybe your to-go drink had a little bit of go-go juice in it.
Yeah, go-go juice was chlamydia, gonorrhea, and herpes. It was an STI cocktail.
Ugh.
I've heard of, there's an AMF. You can kind of get all these different cocktails, but stay away from the STIs, everybody. Those are not ideal, but that's also the most Florida thing I've ever heard in my life. So that was genuinely scarring.
Yeah.
And again, now the casting couch seems kind of garbage too. Maybe should have saved one for a different week, but hey, man.
Well, on the complete opposite side of the U.S. over here, in good old California, there was a severed head discovered in a San Francisco refrigerator during a missing person investigation. Didn't read into the article, but pretty sure they found him.
Yeah. I don't even have a smart ass comment for them. They just found a head in a freezer.
I mean, that was the headline of the article. I did not read into it.
Maybe they're just using it to pay rent.
Oh, who knows?
Cost an arm and a leg. Might as well just put a head in for it, right?
Yeah.
God, that was a bad joke. I think it's just late.
Okay. Speaking of bad jokes, and it's on the topic that you just brought up. Which one of these does not belong? Eggs, a wife, or a blowjob?
Oh my God, dude.
Have you heard this one?
No, but you'll hear it in a second. I'm gonna say a blowjob.
That's correct. Because you can beat eggs, you can beat your wife, but you cannot beat a blowjob. So there you goes, ladies.
On that note, I also have a joke this week, which I've skipped out on for a while. What's the difference between your wife and a job?
My wife does not suck.
Your job will still suck after 5 years.
Oh, damn. I was onto something.
You're close. So we love women. Let's make it very clear.
And we also love blowjobs. Let's make that clear. That is why we are sitting here today on the casting couch trying to make a buck.
Yeah, we're just trying to do it. However, they say sex sells. Well, bitch, we're sold out.
Yeah.
We are absolute sellouts at this point.
Yeah.
Oh, God. Well, that was family friendly. That was actually probably the dude finder thing was fun, but this might have 100% taken the cupcake farts for the least appropriate podcast thus far. So
please never say cupcake farts ever again. For those of you guys that know why.
Yeah, you just know.
Yeah.
Yeah, we won't explain that one because we don't want to get kicked off the air or whatever you would call such.
Yeah.
But, on that note, man, we'll come back a little more PG next week, but the casting couch is just too much of a good affair to not make this the most not safe for work that you don't have podcast so far. Cooking up some special stuff for next week, so stay tuned with that. As always, do not forget, we got a giveaway going on at 500 followers on @GoodEnoughPod on Instagram. We're giving away Apple AirPod Pros. Not giving away 1,800 PS4s and Xbox Ones, Toyota Corollas, and $10,000 checks with t-shirts because we're not David Dobrik, but you can text us and not him. So,
hey,
with us. so yeah, tell a friend, tag one person in that post, and then we'll just keep doubling the number so you guys can get some free shit, and we can give you free shit, and we will hand deliver it unless you live anywhere that we don't want to go, because it's a free country and we reserve the right to do that.
And it's also hard to travel right now, so
yeah, it's kind of difficult. But on that note, thank you guys for listening per usual. Thanks for the coming to the casting couch quarantine edition. Wait, quarantine couch casting couch edition. We'll just be lounging. Hit us up on all the socials; those are tagged below. Send us crazy offensive jokes, anything you really want, except for pictures of your ass, GK. So thank you. Got that threat this week, and I think I'm over it. So I'm good. I already have one ass. I don't need another one. And it's him. Any closing words? Thanks again to Shay. Sorry we had to shoot you out on the most garbage episode. I say garbage. Great episode. Just an absolute dumpster fire of sin. We'll shout that one out on a real one soon. Yeah, I think.
Yeah, that's all we got here. We got a casting coming up in about 2 minutes, so
yeah, so we got to cut this one short. Anyways, I'm gonna go put Vaseline on my face. I'm gonna go do a couple push-ups for the cameras roll. Until next time, thank you guys very much. Appreciate you checking us out, and yeah. Later.
Thanks for listening.